address.
Yes. For it, if you send this out electronically, like Facebook or Nextdoor or email or whatever, if you click on the map, it will actually take you to the map that has very specific information of where you're meeting, like northeast corner of the playfield, next to the tennis courts, all that kind of stuff. So that map is embedded behind this picture of a map. And down here it says, click on the map for more details. This QR code is the general sign up for neighbors, just general neighbors, not the hub roles. And this link down here, Seattle Emergency Hubs, goes to the, I think it goes to the hub. Yeah, it goes to the hub website. So there's a lot of electric stuff behind this. But obviously, if you print this out, I will modify this so that you can print it out. QR codes are great. Actually, let me back up. I'm not sure I have to modify this.
Well, it shouldn't say clip on the map for the printed version.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, I will modify it just that teeny bit. And then to your point, Jody, about I don't know, would you want a poster that has a link to your jobs, your hub roles? Would you want a link on a poster you're going to put out to the general public?
Well, first of all, I think you sent this before, but I was looking for information to put in a newsletter I'm getting out to our hub, and I couldn't find the damn thing. So can you send this to us?
Yes. Oh yeah, it'll be on it's on this email of stuff I'm sending after the meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think the poster as it is fine. There's places there to look for more information.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that will do for me. But my question was, as the host hub, are we supposed to get it out to the other hubs in Ballard, or will each of them have a chance to order some?
That's a good question. I'll get a hold of Cheryl and Hugh and ask. Nobody else is quite set up like you are. I'm not sure Cheryl and Hugh are going to have the energy to post them throughout Ballard.
Well,
but I will ask.
Cheryl's going to be gone. Well, she's not leaving till I think the 7th or something. But I mean, I could get them to them too. I just want to know if it's going to be for all of our hubs. I would like to get 45.
Okay, I'll put you down for that, Jody.
Okay, great.
As long as you can distribute them, I don't mind printing
okay,
them.
I'll get them. I'll get them to Cheryl and Hugh and whoever else. Okay.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Mary Kate, how many for you?
I think we could definitely take about 20.
Okay, great. Linda?
I would say like around 30. If you can.
Okay. Yeah, again, as long as you guys are able to put them up somewhere, like I said, because these are not, it's not cheap anymore to print. And Pat, how many would you like?
I'll take 30, but my question is, are they just on like a heavy paper or a paper?
Yeah.
So I could laminate them.
Sure, if you want to, that's not a bad idea. I mean, yeah, I guess if they're going to be outside and not undercover, that's probably a very good idea. Like I will put some up in my park.
I would put them out earlier, and then I will highlight our, location on them. Put a little arrow.
That's a really smart idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, I found the little libraries really helpful. So and a few other places. So I would say 30 for us.
Okay, great. Louise?
Well, I'm sort of in a dilemma because we had crafted a flyer which we were going to distribute to the neighborhood and all the places we've discussed. But I also understand the merit of this one. But I'm not sure if people are going to be willing to post 2. So maybe 10, and if I need
Okay.
more, I can see or make copies from what I have myself. So
That sounds
let's do
good.
that.
Okay, thanks, Louise. Bill?
Well, so how big are they? You can hear me?
Yeah, 8.5 by 11, normal piece of paper.
Well, if you're gonna send it to me electronically, I'll just print my own.
Sweet.
Just
You know
because
what?
I'm not
Alright.
quite sure where I'm going with this type of publicity. I mean, I'm reaching out through the community councils and everything. So if I'm gonna do anything, I'll just print them myself.
Okay,
And I'll do the same thing. That's a great idea. I don't need any.
okay,
I'll just take the
Okay.
digital. Thank you.
You know
I'm
what?
so
okay.
I think I will too, because then I won't put something different on the back. It'll just be about our hub. Then I can do it two-sided.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'm also happy to send this flyer and you can modify it yourself. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. It'd be a lot of taking stuff off, but anyway, okay, so.
But I think one
um,
of the advantages to this is if people can see this as a citywide thing, that gives it a little more cachet, you know?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, it seems
Yeah.
more official. Yeah.
so Linda, do you want to print your own?
Yeah, I think I will just print our own.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
And then let's see. So I think I got all you guys. Yeah, excellent. Okay. So signups, I'm not hearing big concerns with that. Promotion, this print stuff, which is not typically how I do much of my work. I'm a big electronic person. I send out emails and that mailing lists and that kind of stuff. This is on the website for the hub. And then Cindy is crafting communication to go out to Ethic Media and all kinds of folks. So we should start hearing more of a buzz very soon. Let's see,
And
what
I
else
was
do
looking
have?
for
Mhm.
information, which I was sure you would send. This poster will have it on it. But had you sent it out before and I just couldn't find it, or not?
What information are you looking for, Jody?
like what is on the poster, the theme and all this stuff?
Maybe I haven't. It's very
Okay.
possible that I haven't.
Well, I'd
Yeah,
rather think that
I-
than that I couldn't find it.
Yeah, let's go with that. Okay. Let's see. One of the things, another thing I wanted to talk about was who would find it helpful for like me and a radio person to show up at your hub and do sort of a dry run. Like visit the hub, talk about it. And my goal for you guys, and tell me if I'm wrong, my goal for you guys is for everybody to have 4 canopies and to have gear, be able, have the pocket organizer things, the plastic pantry things or whatever, have some kind of system to make matches in your hub so that you guys get the practice doing it and the public sees that it really could work. They instantly see the value of it. My goal is to get everybody the pocket protectors they need, even if you don't have one yet. I have 4 of them. I'm more than willing to loan out because I'm not activating. So
And do you want me to show people what I made?
does anybody not know what the pantry organizer thing looks like?
yes, we do.
Okay.
Okay.
I think Jody, everybody's
Okay.
good with it. It's been around for maybe a year. I
Yeah.
think we've kind of been talking about this, but that's my goal is 4 canopies and as many pocket organizers as you need, 4 tables at least, if not more. So I think we should beef you guys up to look like a very functional operating hub. Some of you have that gear. Most of you do not. Most of you do not have 4 canopies. So my thought was if I came out with a radio operator and you talk about where you want to put this stuff, and maybe some of you have activated before and know exactly where you want this stuff. Maybe some of you are newer and would like some thoughts about where, like when you open my box, there's a blueprint right there in the quick start guide. It says, put up the tents here. It may not work after a real disaster because maybe the tennis court's a nightmare, but it's at least a place to start. And so somebody doesn't have to decide, where does the information tent go to? I've done the thinking for them. So if you'd like to do that before the drill, I would be happy to get out there, organize a meeting between you, me, and some radio guru, one of the ACS guys who would love to come out ahead of time and talk to you about where to put the radio operator. And maybe talk about how, you're in a hole and you're not going to get any radio reception. And let's talk about, antennas and that kind of stuff. Go ahead, Mary Kate.
Yeah, I think our hub would be interested. Those are the two positions we have filled. I have a radio operator and radio assistant who stepped up and volunteered immediately, which is great.
Sweet. Okay.
But that did raise another question. So our hub is in Judkins Park, and should I be talking to somebody at the Parks Department about the fact that we want to set up and activate in the park?
We do that at the network level.
Okay.
I talked to John Hyenga a couple times previous to this, let him know about it. And I just submitted the permits, the paperwork to get you guys permits.
Okay.
Um,
Great.
so-
Thank you.
At the network level, we do that. Yeah. If you're on personal property, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can work things out with your property owner. But if you're in parks, we take care of that. So that's been done.
Great.
Go ahead, Bill.
Well, so you understand that the Queen Anne is in a park?
Yes.
Okay,
You were on my list, yeah. And Linda, just FYI, I put in the special notice about the goalposts and all that kind of stuff, your special thing, yeah.
And there are
so-
a couple things scheduled for that day already at Ballard Commons Park, a kids thing and some other thing. I don't know how they're going to shuffle that around, but we've
Yeah.
generally just done the northwest corner, and whatever space we have up there, we will use. But I don't know how I'll talk to the concierge there and see what areas those activities will be in, so we can figure out where we should go. And how, we have 2 canopies.
Okay,
So,
then let's coordinate. If you want 4, let's coordinate how to get you 2 more,
okay. And then
okay? So
those go back to the general,
whoever you borrowed
cool.
them from.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, Great.
Cindy has like 15 or 20 canopies or something like that. So if I don't have them to loan, she does.
okay.
So please email me and let me know what or we can go around the room now. There's only 7 of you guys. Does anybody need to be beefed up? Go ahead, Linda.
We're fully equipped, and the canopies we're missing, I have committee members who've already committed to bringing them. So we're fine.
Sweet. Okay, excellent. Linda's good. Mary Kate, you and I will talk. Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm double checking. I don't think we have any canopies, but we do have a partially covered area right next to our hub.
Okay.
That's why I was asking about the park permits.
Yeah.
So I have one, at least one. I have one that's dubious condition. I'm not sure
Okay.
if I should even bother with it. So it could be helpful to have more. At the same time, I did have Gabrielle from Windermere and Norma, I think from Wedgwood, both reached out
Yes.
to assist us. And so I was going to send an email out asking if they had tables, chairs, and tents that they could bring to ours. So we might have enough. I'll let you know soon.
Sweet.
And since
Okay.
you brought up permitting, do you need anything from me about where we're going to be to talk to the city to our park? Or
No,
do you need
no.
it?
Because my understanding is you're not, we're just getting permission to operate in the parks. We're not reserving a space. So it is a little bit of, get there before anybody else so that you can kind of claim that area. Because Jody, it sounds like for the Ballard Commons Park, there's probably people that have I don't know. I'm not sure what they have. I didn't realize you could reserve a space in the park. Maybe they just let the park know that they are having a
I'll,
birthday party. I don't know.
yeah, I'll check with Kelly tomorrow. It also occurs to me that I can probably get some canopies from Cheryl. I'll check with her before you.
Okay.
I'll ask her
Sweet.
because I think there are some canopies up at Loyal Heights that we could get.
Okay.
Yeah.
Louise,
so
are
my
you
thought-
good? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I was just wanted to finish that since we were kind of talking about not needing permits. I understand we don't really need a permit to be in a public park, and there really isn't any reservable space. But if we, if we shut down the tennis court or the basketball court, that's going to raise some concerns with people who may have like a daily routine there. There's a grassy field nearby that might be a better place to stand up the hub in general. But I think still the people who work there might, raise some eyebrows if we just start putting tents up and antennas and, so yeah, I can work with them. I just didn't know if you were planning to do that.
Yeah, I'm Matt, you're at the community center, but it's next to a park, right?
Yes, Ravenna Eckstein Community Center, and there's the box itself is right under a basketball hoop, and people play there daily, especially in the evenings and weekends. So we can't really set up there. It's like on one side is basketball, the other side is people play squash against the gym building. In the past, I've kind of claimed that space and put up one tent, but I'm thinking 4 tents. There's a little pathway. We might want to go past the children's play area and into the grassy field where people walk their dogs if we're going to do the full tent setup. And so I've never tried to set up there, and I haven't really talked to the other, core people about that. So that might be something that we need to just explore. And I would want to give the people, the staff at the community center heads up because they do kind of walk around and keep an eye on things. And so I don't want to
Okay.
be caught off guard.
Gotcha. And whatever John sends me for permission, I will send out to you guys.
Okay.
Okay. So tell you what, if anybody wants a visit, like a pre-drill visit, to talk out some stuff, to just run this through your head, please let me know. And like I said, I will help coordinate with the ACS representatives, so that somebody is guiding us on where's a good spot for the radio folks. Because if you haven't ever set up with radio folks before, you don't want them in your hub. You want them elevated so they get good reception, and B, you want them away from the hub so that they're not disturbed by the public or from the chatter. So radios are a little unique when we set up. The permitting thing I sent to John was 6 hubs, and Ravenna X team was on there. West Queen Anne, East Lake, yeah, Judkins Park, Lakewood Park, Ballard
Okay.
Commons. So yeah, let me know if you think a visit would be helpful. It could also help you, if you're interested, help you make your quick start guide more individualized. I know some of you on the call have done this. We have kind of a generic quick start guide. You can take that and make that very specific to your hub. How to, what to pull out first, what to do first. And then also you could, give them some guidance on how to put this stuff back. Because, some of the boxes, it's a bit of a Jenga kind of puzzle. In the past, when I've done a drill and I've just had my neighbors like start pulling stuff out, oh my God, it's just chaos. Canopies aren't up and I've already got forms blowing around. So the quick start guide is very clear. Don't touch the paperwork until the canopies and the tables are set up. That's the kind of guidance I try to give my neighbors, because everybody gets excited by pulling out tools and paperwork and books and that kind of stuff. And that's just not what needs to happen first. I think I might have said this before, but one of my personal thoughts is if you're going to get canopies, I would try and make them, if you're going to ever buy them, or if you have an option, make them different colors so that the greeter can say, go to the blue tent or go to the white tent. But if they're all blue, it's a little bit tougher. So just a thought. And then well, not a lot. Some of our hub captains have labeled their hubs. Louise has fabulous signage for her hubs, really, really clear and nice. So if anybody has any questions, ask Louise how she did it. It's really good. And they don't take up any space. You know, they're simple signs on the canopies.
They're handmade by human beings.
And what did you say they were made out of, Louise?
Ripstop nylon,
Ripstop nylon.
stenciled,
So,
cut,
yeah.
stitched down,
Oh, that's right.
strings that
Louise
attach
has.
to the tent, and it's a done deal.
Louise, have you taken
So-
any slides?
Pardon?
Have you taken any slides of your setup or like sample sign or two?
Yeah, I can send a picture of that to you guys, and I'm happy to share all of it. And we did not buy colored tents, but we color coded our tents. So the color is in the banner, which helps.
The
It's not
sign is
not all four sides, but there's one side that's blue or green or red.
Did you say you stenciled the ripstop nylon?
I bought a stencil and cut out the letters out of ripstop nylon and then stitched them down
Ooh,
on ripstop onto ripstop.
okay.
It wouldn't pass 8th grade home ec, but it works just fine up high in the air. So, and
yeah.
I'm happy to help people do it or to do it if it's something that you want and don't want to, are not comfortable tackling. Let me put it that way.
Louise, would marker work? Could you just buy ripstop nylon and write on it with black magic
Yeah.
marker, permanent
Probably
marker?
stencil like you did the vests, a bold stencil, probably. I think you have to
So-
look at your tent. Our tents on one face have loops. And I think it was designed for fairs or merchants or whatever to post some informational thing in that piece that hangs off the edge of the roof of the tent. And so it totally lends itself to allowing you to hang this tautly. But I don't know that every tent, I would imagine every tent has them, but I don't know that they do.
Let me share my screen. I just realized I could get this up and running. So this is what Louise has.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's big.
And it's not stitched to the canopy itself. It's attached.
It's stitched to the
Oh.
white fabric behind it, but not to the canopy. So it's removable.
So Louise has the stencils to write this large letters, which I just think is fabulous. See if I can. find
You
them
say
under-
it's, explain again how it's fastened or not fastened? Oh, I see,
Oh,
I think.
Sorry.
I thought maybe at that last picture, you could see the hanging system.
Oh,
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot I was sharing still. There, can you see that?
In the corners, how it's stretched to a loop at the edge of the
Yeah, right
banner.
there.
Yeah, that's how it's hung.
But for a more standard canopy, ones without holes or any kind of attachment there on the corners, you could hang it below and you could hang it from the crisscross, you know, the structure of the hub of the canopy, I mean.
You could
You
slip
also
some
use a
magnets
piece
through
of
it too.
Velcro,
Velcro, sure. And what
adhesive
was your
Velcro.
comment, Matt?
Magnets. You put a magnet on either side to stick it together.
Sure. Yeah. So stuff like that's available. It's not, you know, it's not, we don't buy that stuff, but it's, you know, it's easy, not easily done, but it's able to be done. And Louise has the stencils. And if we, you know, if folks want to do it, then let's get on it and everybody gets to keep it for a couple days, but let's keep moving it on so that everybody gets it if they want. Let's see. I didn't have a whole lot else to talk about at this moment.
I have
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Linda.
So one thing that we decided we wanted to do is we want to have a table before people leave of things they can take away to take home, you know, like for preparing their own household or the SNAP or map your neighborhood stuff. And I'm wondering, I know that when a couple of years ago, you know, when we were down at the Office of Emergency Management or the EOC downtown, they in the lobby there used to be like brochures galore. But I don't know if they still do that. I mean, that was pre-COVID, so I don't know if they still have stuff like that, or if you can even get in there if you're not. We went down, it was for the messaging workshop that time, and I don't know that you can just walk in off the street and get stuff. And I wanted to ask if you knew those two questions. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, you can walk in off the street. You have to call them ahead of time. But anybody can go in, especially when you say you're a hub captain, because they know Cindy really, really well. So I will give you the guy's number. His name is Chris Carmen. I will have to put his email out to you guys in a bit. I don't have it.
That's fine.
So let me write that down. So Chris Carmen's email, you arrange it with him. He will give you most likely 50 at a time and probably no more.
Okay.
I think 50 is probably a reasonable amount because they are expensive. When you see them, they are full color, many pages. They're ridiculously expensive.
They don't just have those trifold brochures?
No. They
Who's
redid
got
them. And
those?
are you talking about the hub brochures? Or are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not talking about the hub brochures. We have a bunch.
Yeah.
I'm talking about some things, some handouts about emergency preparation for people to take home with them after they come visit the hub. We want to have something that they can take away with them.
Yes, absolutely. So a couple things to think, besides the Office of Emergency Management, it's called an infographic. And honestly, in my opinion, it's very pretty, but it's so busy.
I know the piece you mean. It was over designed. It really doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So, but things we can offer folks, which I think are incredibly helpful. There's a half-page sheet that they can, no, I'm sorry, I think it's full sheet. Anyway, they can print out and put on their hot water tank. Just tape it to the hot water tank. Pray you never need it, but it's there. It's how to get water out of the hot water tank if you ever need it. So that's an easy one. Another one.
We were thinking of copying some of the ones in the hub education book, like the managing utilities page, and just having a loose ones of those at the either on the educator table or else at a table as they leave, so that they could have something like that. So is that one of the ones that's in the educator book, the how to get the water out of the hot?
Yes.
Okay.
So I will put all these together in an email to you guys. So we have the hot water tank. I can get you a copy of the controlling utilities. I can give you a small flyer on, I don't know how you'd want to do this. Well, you want them to take it with them. But a small, like business size card of smartphone apps to download. And there's a QR code on it. And they can go to that slideshow basically online and download all these apps.
Okay.
So that's a good one. It's a good takeaway. Twin bucket toilets.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that. So I have this, and I don't know if they still make these, but it is the toilet option in here from Seattle Public Utilities. This seems like it would be an easy one if they still have them.
Yeah, Mary Kate, we have something a little different. That brochure is the old one that SPU uses.
Okay.
They have a new one, but they haven't released it.
Okay.
The reason I shy away from that one is because it doesn't mention the twin bucket toilet.
Yeah.
So let me go grab one. I'll be right back.
I inherited a lot of stuff. Some of it is pretty out of date.
Yeah.
Back that can happen fast.
Yeah. I know I had a half-page one that I just got from somebody recently who was doing work for OEM.
So this is a giveaway that I sit in front of my TV and do a lot of. So it is a piece of paper, how to do the twin bucket toilet. It's 2 plastic bags and gloves. And I am more than happy to do enough for everybody because I can do these while I'm watching TV. So this is a nice giveaway. It's obviously not enough for a twin bucket toilet, and more than anything, it's the directions. So I will put those together and get them out to you. This is going to require some kind of meeting between you guys and me, but we can make that happen. So I will put together those flyers and then count on having twin bucket toilet giveaways. Linda, anything else you were thinking about besides paper?
Well, I kind of like, well, there's some things that I think won't make sense unless they're in the context of the urban skills fair, because they won't know what to do with them, you know?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
Tags that you put on your water valve, you know, that says
Mhm.
water on it. And I thought that was really cute and would be really easy to do. But if they don't know what, you know, I'm not sure all by itself. I think it makes more sense in a
skills fair.
So that's what I'm trying to think. Not too many things, but just some things for the home, and maybe there is no SNAP brochure. They have the website, but I know I probably have an old Map Your Neighborhood you know, brochure, but I don't know how that helps because that's all phased out. So
Right.
They're not doing the SNAP brochures anymore?
Not, well, no, I don't think there's not SNAP brochures out. They just stopped printing.
And the Map Your Neighborhood is phased out. So
Yeah.
I think I know who got all the the last book. You went down.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other, I'll think about the takeaway thing a little bit more, but I don't
Okay, yeah.
mandate people, but I want some people not to go away empty-handed. I want them to have something, you know, that they.
Right. Go ahead, Pat.
So years ago, we used to have these signs that said help and okay, help on one side, okay on the other, and then you provided a Band-Aid with that, so you could always have something to stick it up on a window. Is that still something that's being promoted, or?
I was just at the OEM the other day, the Office of Emergency Management, and I didn't see tons of those. So my guess is they're not printing them. You could ask, but I don't think there's, I don't think there's tons of them sitting around that the city of Seattle's willing to give away, or that has to give away.
Those
And it's also,
yeah.
go ahead.
Those used to come with the map Your Neighborhood booklet.
Right. And the other thing with those help and okay signs, in my opinion, it gives somebody the impression that if they put a help sign up on their door, that somebody's like the police are going to come, or you know, the city officials are going to come. Like they can just sit in their house and wait for help to come to them. I've always struggled with the idea.
It seemed to me it was more directed toward neighbors.
It's supposed to be, but
Yeah.
if you don't have
that's
the,
what
like
I
Linda was saying, if you don't have the context of the fact that you're not going to get help from anyone other than your neighbors, I don't know. It just struck me as kind of weird. It's that idea of I'm going to sit in my house and somebody's going to care for me. That was the impression I got out of it.
And one other, we had talked before about putting together some little handout that included the out of area contact card and like some first aid type stuff. You know, I was just wondering where that stands and
Yeah,
we're running
I-
out. Maybe that toilet thing's a better handout. I don't know.
yeah, Pat, I don't see me having the bandwidth to get that
Yeah,
moving.
no, I think we're running out of
Yeah.
time, but in the
Yeah.
future, I'm still on board for helping put them together. I wasn't
Roger
sure
that.
what was in them, so,
Yeah.
okay.
A thought is, because I always try to encourage people to, when you throw an event, if you're pulling people together, give them what's the next event, like kind of like what you're saying, Linda. You don't want them to walk away empty-handed. I would be happy to do more classes, those online classes that I do. It's 6 Wednesdays in a row, half an hour, that whole thing. I'm happy to schedule a time to do that, like maybe, I don't know, I'd have to look at my calendar, maybe July. And then that would be something they could take away. Just a quarter-page flyer that says, sign up for the class. So it's at least something. Because you guys are activating, I don't want to recommend that you plan another event later in the summer unless you're dying to. So if you don't have the bandwidth for that, then at least give them something. And a class is something I can do fairly easily without, it's not, the only person that's any stress for is me. It's,
That would be
doesn't
very
take a lot
good,
of effort.
Anne. That would be very
Okay.
good.
I will put together a class.
And would it be
so
possible
you
to
guys can
put the,
advertise.
isn't the whole class also available on YouTube for people who might want to just watch it? So we could attach
Absolutely.
the URL for that, so people could, if they're really excited, they can go right home and dig in.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
But the nice thing about having a class is it's scheduled. There's an
Yeah.
appointment. Whereas if there's something
Yeah.
you can watch on YouTube, you may or may not get around to it. So I think there's an advantage to having the option for both.
Yeah, I agree, because you get 2 different audiences.
Yes.
Mhm. Okay.
Could do YouTube live.
That's too techie for me, Matt. YouTube live. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, I have one.
Concerns? Okay, go ahead, Jody.
What is the latest iteration of this?
Oh,
This one has a date of 10/3/11. And this one has a date of 5/20.
That's so newer. That second one is much newer.
yeah,
Yes, right. But is that the latest iteration?
yes. Yeah, I don't think anybody's played with that.
Okay, so
Much
this is the
beyond that.
latest one.
Yes, the one that's
Okay.
I think it's in the hub books.
Yes, it is, because someone gave me this and said it was the latest one, and I didn't look at the time to see that the date was definitely old. So,
Does it need to be updated? Is it missing anything?
well, in a way, this one has you going from the greeter, from the greeter to the message taker. And this one seems a lot less directed somehow, but maybe I just haven't studied it enough to figure out the flow.
Yeah. I think it's very difficult to make a flow chart for what we do in the hubs. It has eluded me anyway. Who else had a question? Linda, you did.
So my other question was, we've done lots of training over the last 4 years about earthquake. And so I feel like when a lot of my volunteers are pretty comfortable, answering questions. I mean, I know that we're supposed to be able to be like jack of all trades and know, like if there's another disaster, we have to just rise to the challenge. But for the drill, I'm feeling like a little bit in the dark about what the implications of this power outage thing is, because I really don't, I mean, we've only had a couple little cases presented to us, medical devices, insulin being kept cold, heating and cooling, but and then maybe the sewer thing in the water, moving them and pumping and so forth. But what else? I mean, what else do we need to know? It seems like we need a little more context for what that kind of disaster is, and I feel like we're completely in the dark.
Yeah, yeah, I can relate. I'm learning. I'm like a half step ahead of you guys. Seriously, I'm calling the experts of the city and trying to figure out, like, can you run a school without electricity and that kind of stuff. So I'm figuring out as we go along. We'll talk definitely at the Hubcap meeting, May 25th, because that whole meeting is dedicated to drill prep. So we will find out more. I think a good thing to keep in mind is that we are not solving the problem here. We're just trying to identify. And my goal is to write injects so that you have lots of matches, so that the person that has insulin that needs to be kept cold you can find a match because there's somebody in the neighborhood with a gas generator.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make you guys feel successful. I didn't realize how different this was than an earthquake. Because an earthquake, nothing works. Now I'm having to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And I'm still trying to figure out about natural gas. I don't have that answer yet. It might keep flowing, it might not. So yeah, we'll find out more, but you're dead on, Linda, that feels weird. We don't really know what we're facing.
Okay.
I think the key is to writing these injects, right?
Yes.
It's the
Yeah.
stuff that could plausibly happen in this, as long as we get that on paper and distributed to all of the hubs so that those are things that can come up in the drill, then we should be good without really understanding all the ins and outs of it individually.
Yeah.
Because the answer will be part of the inject. So you'll teach yourself in the two pieces of the information. And I'm counting on that, so I'm not nervous about it.
There we go. That is my goal. Somebody wrote, we want 10 people to show up and we want to make 3 matches or something like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're shooting so low. We're going to make so many matches.
That was me.
because I'm stacking the deck. I want you guys to be successful. I want matches to be made. It's no fun if they're not made. So yeah, we're going to write these injects so that they make a lot of sense and so that you are very successful. And the things I don't know about, I'm just going to steer clear of them. Like traffic is just going to be difficult. I don't think it's going to shut down completely. Go ahead, Pat.
I was just going to comment that with all the pushing of electric vehicles, people's cars will run out of charge. So there might be a lot of requests for transportation, and then after the gas engines run out of gas and they can't get gas, then we're set.
Right.
Bicycles.
And and there's people that are like figuring out how to power their house off of their car. Oh my gosh, there's so much energy and yeah, lots of fun stuff going on. So and then we'll have just regular. Okay, what's that?
I found instructions on modifying a bicycle so you can use it to generate electricity to charge a car battery.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Yeah, there's something in the education book for the
eat a lot.
hubs. Yeah.
We need those high school kids. We got to put them to work so they can get on those bikes and generate electricity for us.
It sounds like it'd be useful to have a workshop on that sort of thing.
I've got the directions. I
Yes.
copied them off.
Yeah.
Oh, and I do have to share one more thing. I don't know if you remember, but some time ago, the Boeing engineers went on strike. And one of the things that I remember reading about in the paper was they designed a better burn barrel. So I wrote to the union, and today I got the instructions for how they do the better burn barrel with diagrams and cutting and welding and stuff. It takes half as much wood, it gets twice as hot, and you can cook on it.
Wow.
So
Send it over, Jody. I'm curious.
so
A lot of the injects.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
part of my thing is we have to get people not just to think about how to run their lives like they always have, even though we haven't got electricity. We have to get people thinking about how do each of us conserve as much as possible so we have more to share with other people. But I thought those two things were a good start on a more long range approach. So I think it's just really exciting. I also have gotten a book on living without electricity and another one on gourmet meals that are cold, but you know, are main dishes and desserts and everything. So I'm kind of developing some resources because we may get into the long haul bit.
Yeah. Nice, nice. Good prep work,
fun.
Jody. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
A lot of the injects for this extra. Oh, sorry, Louise, what'd you say?
This is funny to me, but I was just thinking a great article for the local hubs would be have a dinner party without power. And
Yeah,
see what that would be like.
Yeah. Cold.
well, these
We're
are
gonna-
recipes
Or
that they
Sure, I guess.
devised during Katrina and everything, you know, when they had, and they're really yummy. I mean,
Cool.
they're tremendous recipes. So
Yeah. Sweet. A lot of the injects for this exercise will be around just that food. Your food's all spoiling, you have no electricity to cook it. How can you match up resources in the neighborhood and feed people? Okay, so anything else? Okay, so you guys are going to get hold of me, email me if you want a visit. I have the number of flyers. I call them posters. I should call them flyers. I have some for Matt, Mary Kate, Jody, and Pat. I'm going to send you some promotional information. I'm going to send you the flyer. I'm going to send you Chris's contact information at the Office of Emergency Management if you want to pick up those infographics. I am going to schedule a class and create a flyer, a small handout with 2 QR codes. One for a recorded class already, and then one for a class coming up if they want to do it in person.
Great.
For the flyers, if you're not printing a bunch, you don't have to worry about me. I'll just print and laminate
Yeah.
whatever I need,
Okay, all right. I
because
will
I'm
be
not
happy to
100%
take it.
certain where they're gonna go.
Yeah, I know. And I always think, oh, I'm going to blanket them all over the place. And then, you know, the event's over with and they're still sitting in my office. So I am the worst about this kind of stuff. I think that's it. How about, would you guys be okay to meet in 2 weeks instead of next week?
That would be lovely.
Okay, all right. And like I said, if you guys want that visit and you want the ham radio folks there to kind of iron out some of this stuff, let me know. And then the other thing was gear. If you're interested in getting 4 tables, 4 canopies, that kind of stuff, then reach out and we will make that happen. Personally, I would not spend too much time and energy getting chairs. In my experience, I've never sat down in a hub drill. So you might want to get some for folks in your community that want to hang out and can't, you know, stand for an hour and a half. But I wouldn't worry too much about seating for your hub volunteers. They tend to be moving.
so it's Monday, the 22nd, 6 to 7.
Yes. 22nd. May 22nd, Monday.
Okay.
Okay. And we have 10 hubs now, not 11. And I just heard from the 10th one. I was getting ready to take her off the list, but she finally did speak up and says she's going to activate. So we are sitting at 10. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go. Have the rest of your night.
What was the 11th one that dropped out?
It was Crown Hill.
Okay.
He's a new hub captain, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I couldn't reach him, and neither could Cheryl or Hugh. So I'm assuming he's, yeah, whatever. Okay.
Is the Zoom link the same for next?
Yes, it'll be the same. Yeah.
Okay. I'll write that down too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Ann, for all your work.
Okay. Yeah, my pleasure. All right, you guys take care.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.